What's up, guys? Brandon here from Cornerstone FX, and we're back this week with a market recap on what happened in this previous week, what we were able to catch, and how the market played out. And let's see what happened on gold. I'm going to start it out on the daily time frame for you guys. Just show you what I was looking at. So gold, I do multiple time frame analysis daily for 1 hour. But then even after that, I do drop down to the 15 minute, and I take entries on the 5 minute on gold because it gives me a nice risk to reward. Because gold is so volatile, I don't always um, trade on the 1 hour because I try to keep my stop loss as close as possible. Ideally, I'd like to keep my stop loss on gold less than 5 points. So that's how I trade gold. Let me just give you an idea what we were looking at. Okay, so previous week I did mention that we were looking at this area of 1760, which we did bounce off of, and then towards the end of the week, right over here, we had a nice bull run into that 1800 level right over there. So if I drop down to the, so obviously we had a double top, so I was expecting more bullish momentum at least to the 1825 level. We didn't quite reach that this week, but we'll see what happens this week. If I drop from the daily, I'm gonna drop straight to the 1 hour just to give you an idea what was happening. Okay, great. So market opened around here, price went back up, came back down, up. When looking at gold, the Monday, there was an area right over here that I identified. Price broke out of, retested, and I wanted to take an entry right here on the Monday, but because I don't because I don't like trading on a Monday, I did not take the entry. Okay, but I just want to show you guys. I'm gonna do this for the sake of the video. Like Nathan says, plan the trade and trade the plan, and trust your analysis. So obviously we can see this was an area of resistance, broke out, became support, and as it became support right over here, I saw an entry. I wanted to take an entry right over there because price broke out, okay, had a very bearish candle and immediately bullish candle, and then right there we had nice rejection, two rejection candles right over there. And if you want to play a safer entry, we had a very bullish candle right there. So had I taken the entry on that candle over there, let me show you guys. I could have taken an entry right there. Stops just below, very tight stop loss. So if I enter at, what is this, 1795, stop loss at 1790, 91 in actual fact. That's a 4 point stop loss. And look, first target would have been this 4 hour level right there. I could have gotten break even right there, and then target the full ride up until this 1 hour time frame. There is another level right here that I did mark out. Let me see. I think it's 1801. There we go. So 1801 would have given me a 123 at least, and on this would have given a nice 126, almost 7 on that. I did not take that trade, however, so that's fine. But the market is always giving us more opportunities. Okay, so price went up, came back down, retested it once again, and again did not break this level right here. So as you can see, price pushed all the way down, did not break here, went back up right over there. I did have an entry as price was pushing back up. I took an entry right over here. I didn't leave this on, however. Let me drop down to the 5 minutes because this is where I took all these entries. So if I drop down to the 5 minute time frame, let's go back. Right over here. So as you can see, price pushed down. Let me take this out quickly. Price pushed down and then immediately rejected after this. And here we got a nice rejection candle, and right there, a nice bullish candle. At that point, I looked for an entry right over here. Stops just below. and I had targets all the way here to this area right over here. Actually, just below. Okay, so I had targets just like this. Price flew nicely in my direction, and as it was pulling back, I realized that my risk to reward was not worth it for me. So I jumped out actually just before I got taken out. Very, very, I wouldn't advise that to anybody because as you can see, as I got out of the trade, price then went back up again, formed the double top right over here on the 5 minute time frame. Let me just zoom this in. This I then identified as a double top, and then price came back down. I thought, okay, I made the right decision, and then from there made an equal high, lower high, higher low, sorry, and then obviously higher high, and then price just went up and down. A little bit of consolidation here, but eventually flew all the way back, all the way to my take profit. What would have been my take profit? But this was a lot of choppiness for me. I wouldn't have gotten taken out, but I had great entries on all of my trades. I'll show you. Great entries, nice tight stop losses, but because the risk to reward on this specific trade was not in my favor, I was not comfortable riding it all the way. So let me take that out quickly and show you exactly where I then got in. Price played out. I was a bit on the road, so I did not catch all these moves. And like I say, although this looks like a lot, this is the 5 minute time frame, so I wasn't watching it, you know, that intensely. Right over here, I saw price making a high, or a low, lower low, lower high, because that's lower than that. Made a lower low, pull back, making a lower high, retesting basically this area over here, and we had a nice bearish engulfing candle giving us momentum. Okay, as I saw that, I took an entry right over there. Oh no, I'm lying. I did not take this entry because price broke through this orange level. I was waiting for the pullback basically to retest this candle over here. Waiting for the pullback. I did not get the full candle, the full pullback that I wanted. And I'll tell you why I wanted the pullback is because if I entered on the closure over here, my risk to reward would have been almost 1 to 2, as you can see. I wanted the pullback a little bit higher, actually till here, to make this trade worth it. 1801 stop loss would have been 1803, so 2 point stop loss, and then I would have wrote this down all the way for a nice 1 to 3 risk to reward. Price gave me a nice, price for a couple of minutes, maybe half an hour, almost an hour. Price was in a bit of consolidation, finally broke through this area, bounced off here, and then on this here, as we retested this area right over here, I decided I'm going to scale in. I took an entry right over there. This was just before I went to sleep because I work night shift. So just before I went to go sleep, 5 o'clock in the morning, I took an entry. Price went nicely into profit. I had very minimal drawdown. I had an entry at 17.99, stop loss at 18, almost 1801, and then 1 to 3 that I had on riding on this one. Price came down, pulled back, and then came back down. And as soon as it broke this area, I thought we're gonna reach my full targets. I went break even. I went to bed, and unfortunately, I then woke up having been taken out break even on this trade. And I'm so glad I had my stop loss in place because, as you can see, price flew all the way up. Had I been awake, I might have caught the buy to the upside because, as you can see, we touched there, we weren't able to break. We touched there, we weren't able to break. Price then broke structure right over here, making higher highs, higher lows. And then right over here, this would have been a perfect candlestick entry. You could have entered something like this. Stops just below. And, back to years 1 to 2 already. Back to this level over here is 1 to 4, almost 1 to 5. And even if you want to ride it to the 1 hour, that would have been a nice 1 to 8 risk to reward. I missed that trade, of course, because I was sleeping. Price then played out like it wanted to, came back to this area. And once it got here, I then took another entry, as you can see. So on the 5 minute, it is a bit tricky to trade because you need to, you know, be aware of what's happening on the higher time frames. Keep your levels in place because price does respect it quite nicely. Price pull back all the way into here 1794, rejected. I was waiting for market structure to change. So we got the low, we got the higher high, the higher low right over here. And as price was pushing up, actually on the 15 minute, I think there was a nice engulfing candle right over here. As price was pushing up, I entered right over there, went a bit in profit, came back down to entry. Right here, I went break even on this trade because I had 1 to 1, almost 1 to 2. Went break even. I had my take profit right above here. Went break even, got taken out at break even. I did secure some profits over here, and then unfortunately got taken out at break even, and then price flew all the way up. I wanted to get in on a retest, so we didn't get the retest right over here. Price flew up, made that high, came back down, and then right over here we got a nice. So this was the retest I took as the retest. Got a nice bullish engulfing candle right there, and that's where I took another entry. Took an entry on that candle. Price flew up. Price flew up almost 1 to 2 if I remember correctly. Let me just look for you guys. Yep, this was a 1 to 2 risk to reward right over there. I took partial profits, moved my stop loss to break even. Price then came back, made a higher low, respecting this area right over there. This I thought was a higher high. However, looking at it now, I thought I do see that it made then just a slight double top, slanted double top, and then price came back all the way down, taking me out break even initially over here, and then if I had not moved my stop loss to break even, I would have taken a loss on this trade. So we had nice moves on gold. However, I do believe with this specific pair, have multiple positions so that you can secure your 1 to 1, secure your 1 to 2, and then further ride it for your 1 to 3. And if you catch the big moves, you can potentially, you know, have a nice 1 to 5, 1 to 6 risk to reward on gold. Okay, so guys, that was my analysis on gold. That's how I traded it this week. I hope this is able to help you. I know on the 5 minute it does get a bit tricky. I'll go in a bit more detail on structure in the pre-market analysis. But as for this week, we had a great trading week. Nice a few moves that we missed, nice moves that we did catch. Some we weren't able to run to the full targets intended. But nonetheless, we kept our head in the game, kept structure, looked at the markets from multiple time frames, which is what we recommend, which is what is working for us, and we hope it works for you too. That's it from us, guys. I hope this video was of value. Before I let you go, please like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.